So many good balls. Wow, holy crap.
Welcome back to JR Pro Shop Vids. Today we have Jungo out on the lanes throwing the new Hustle Wine and Hustle Camo. So the new Hustles feature the famous Hustle Core as shown in the Hustle PBR, Hustle Wrap, all the other Hustles, I think. So these bowling balls feature the VTC Solid and Pearl cover stock. So today, Jungo will be comparing these balls to the Idol and Idol Pearl. So we wanted to compare the Hustle Camo to the Idol because it's one of Jung's favorite balls, and they're also both Sim Solids. And we wanted to compare the Hustle Wine to the Idol Pearl because they're both Sim Pearls. So expectations for today, I believe that these balls being closer to an entry-level bowling ball, I think they will hook less than the Idol and Idol Pearl. For today's review, we have Easy Street. It's a 38-foot pattern, and what's special about this pattern, it has a lighter volume of oil. So balls like the Hustles are typically better on light oil conditions, so they should look really good for today's review. Enough talking here, let's send it to Jung on the lanes.
Jungo's back. We got the new Hustles from Roto Grip, Camo and Wine. So the Hustles here on the HP1 line, hook potential 1. And there's nothing currently in the HP2 lineup until the hypes come out in a couple months. So we got to compare it to the HP3 line. So got my Idol Pearl and my trusty old Idol here. Threw the Camo against the Idol, the Solid. Went pinned down with it, same layout. And as Jimu said in the shop, we got a little light oil here, 18 mils, about 25% less as usual. So these balls should look really good here on the light oil. Let's give it a shot. Really good shot there. These Hustles perform really well on light oil or like burned up conditions after there's been a bunch of games bowled on it already. Tried to emulate that here with 18 mils. Camo with the strike, let's go with the same layout, Idol. Missed a little bit inside there. Already hooks a couple boards more I can see, so let's throw that again. Let's try and hit my mark this time though. Trusty old Idol. Alright, hit the same line there. Pretty close in reaction on the lighter volume here, but the Idol definitely picks up a little bit earlier, right? It's got a much stronger core, much stronger cover stock, so it's gonna pick up a little earlier, be a more rounder shape. The Hustle's pretty close. Hustle Camo here came at polish out of the box, but I took it down to 2K to match the Idol. Just a little bit too shiny to have a fair review against the Idol, so. Really close on the light volume pattern. I think you really see a huge difference though once the volume gets kicked up a notch. The Idol will outperform the Hustle a lot better. But as far as light oil goes, these Hustles are good, man. All right, let's move a couple left here. Let's go 3 left and see how it does. A little deep for that ball now, but almost made it back. Quite impressive. An HP1 ball can play 4th arrow here. 18 mils of oil. All right, slow that again, but slow it down. Good speed there, missed a little bit left, but that ball really turned the corner really nice. Keep in mind this is light oil, so won't be seeing this on the regular patterns we use. All right, let's go the other way. Let's play a little straighter. 13 boards right of the previous shot. Really versatile bowling ball on the light volume pattern. Can play anywhere. Let's go 5 more right of the last shot. Play a little up the back with the hand here. Wow, these balls perform really good on the light oil. Holy crap. All right, let's see how the Idol does on that last shot. Same line. That was a really good shot. You can see just how much earlier that ball picks up. Right, just that extra 2 performance levels above, the ball really picks up earlier. A little bit smoother, more continuous. So a ball like the Idol is really gonna handle heavier oil much better. But as far as light patterns go and burn, these Hustles, like, they're really good. It's hard to beat these balls. All right, let's switch over to the pinup Hustle Wine. All right, about halfway through the vid, next up we got the Hustle Wine. Speaking of wine, who likes to drink while they bowl? If so, let me know what you like down in the comments.
Do you like wine?
Kinda. Only with steak, bro. All right, let's go back to where we started. Hustle Wine, pinup. This should hook much more than the Camo. Ooh, missed to the right there too. The Camo wouldn't make it back from there, I don't think. Let's throw that again. Wow. So I got the pinup wine, box finish, polish, versus the Camo here, pinned down, put a little surface on it. The wine really kicks harder in the back end. Hooks a few boards more too, I think. All right, let's throw that against the trusty old Idol Pearl. This is my go-to ball on drier lanes when it burns up a little bit or lighter volume, so let's see how it compares. Well, you can see how much earlier the higher end balls roll, right? They just pick up a little sooner, roll a little sooner. They don't cover that many more boards at all. Well, at least not on the light volume, but they're just a little bit more predictable. The HP3 line, right, the higher end Idols here, they're just gonna perform a little bit more consistently than the Hustles, right? Especially if there's more oil. But as the oil gets lighter and lighter, the Hustles are gonna perform better and better. Let's go 3 boards to the left. That Hustle Wine is good. That ball really kicks in the back end. I'm really surprised how well they perform on this lighter volume. Weaker core, weaker covers. Gonna get down the lane really easy. Once it hits the friction, it's gonna take off. So it needs that light oil to slow down. If there's any decent volume, these balls probably won't hook that much. 3 more boards to the left. Oh, there we go. There's the flat tenor. A little deep for it now, but still look really good. All right, let's throw the Idol Pearl from way inside there. Right, just much easier to control that. The wine is gonna be much sharper. The sharper it is, the harder to control it is. Let's move on to the right. 16 boards right of where I just was. Whew. See, that wine, as soon as it hits the dry, it just takes off. Crazy. I'm gonna have to change my hand position here. Go a little bit up the back, a little bit more forward roll. Cut down the hook a little bit. Wow, I was up the back of that one and it still turned the corner really hard down lane. So if you're having trouble on drier lanes, balls leaving lots of 10 pins, lots of swisher 7s, balls just hooking too early, get yourself a Hustle Wine. This will get down the lane. All right, Idol Pearl, same line, same release. Should be much easier to control this. Yeah, much rounder shape. It's gonna handle oil way better. So many good balls. So many good balls. All right, let's go way left for one last steer riker with the wine. There we go, finally. All right, Jungo's back from the lanes. So when I first got these balls out of the box, they were really shiny. So I wanted to make them a little bit different just on their own. So I went pin down with the solid Camo here, and I went pin up with the wine, and I also took this down to 2K. I wanted to compare it against my Idol. Since there's no HP2 balls, I went with the HP3 Idol and the Idol Pearl against the wine here. So with that being said, these Hustles here are designed for lighter conditions, lighter oil, maybe a little bit of burn when there's been lots of games bowled on the lanes. So that's what we did. We oiled a light oil pattern, 18 mils, the usual being 24 mils, so about 25% less. Really significant, and these balls really looked good out there on the light oil. So with the Camo here being 2000 grit and pinned down, it was pretty quick off the spot. It really did hook hard when it did hit the dry, and that surprised me. I thought it was gonna hook a little bit smoother and a little bit less. So if the Camo here was shiny like box finish, it would have gone even further down the lane and turned the corner even harder. So that would have been even harder to control. So I'm glad I went pin down, put some 2000 grit on it, smooth it out a little bit, and it was comparable to the idle on the lighter conditions of 18 mils. But you can just see the idle, stronger core, stronger cover, picked up a little bit earlier and was much smoother, more predictable. And you can just tell it's gonna handle oil way, way better than the Hustles here. Now, second part of the vid, went over to the wine, the pin up, my usual layout, and I threw it against the idle pearl. I thought that would be fair since this one went against the idle, and the idle pearl is one of my go-to balls when the lanes are a little bit drier, a little bit lighter volume. And this ball really hooked harder in the back end, it really did. Went further down the lane and hooked much harder. You can just tell like the idle is just meant for more oil, and these are meant for lighter oil, so these balls really look good on the light oil. That being said, both of these balls, the hook potential is really comparable to the idles on lighter conditions. As you can tell with the lighter oil, the ball wants to read earlier anyway, just because of the friction. So as expected, you get more down lane motion with the Hustles here, just a weaker cover, smaller core. It's gonna push the ball further down lane. It's not gonna read the friction as fast, and therefore you get more back end motion. So these balls are really gonna be good on light conditions, maybe wood lanes even. After league, when a bunch of games have been bowled on it, these balls are really gonna look good. But I would say on decent amount of oil, say 20 mils plus, these balls probably won't hook that much. And if they do, they're really gonna snap in the back end, so they'll be really uncontrollable. So definitely a time and a place for these balls here. So there's lots of conditions and people these balls are really good for. Obviously light oil, said that a million times already, where lanes are got lots of friction, wood lanes, maybe Guardian, something like that. And also someone with lower ball speed, you know, someone who needs the ball to get down the lane a little bit further. With the weaker core, weaker cover, they're really gonna get down the lane nice and easy, so you don't have to try that hard to throw it fast. With the higher end bowling balls, they're just gonna hook too early and too much for people like that. So really give these balls a good consideration if you've got lower ball speed. Last but not least, if you're out there looking for your very first ball, your very first reactive ball, I would definitely recommend a Hustle. A lot of hook potential for the cost, and it's a great place to start. All right, thanks for watching everyone. Hopefully you learned something today. Don't forget, Boofa distribution, shop.boofabowling.com, 10% off your order. Jungo barks in the checkout. We love you, Mark. Stay tuned, very next review coming up next week, the burner, solid and pearl from 900 Global with Jungo again. Hopefully you're not sick of me.
I'm sick of the Jungo.